across southern parts of Wisconsin. More snow tomorrow night, then we'll talk about the really cold weather for Friday coming up.
All right, Larry, see you in a few minutes. We'll be tracking the snow as it moves through overnight, and our morning team will have everything you need to know to get you out the door and ready to head out tomorrow.
Now to a large public turnout expected in Naperville tonight over a plan to build a massive data center. It would be built near the northwest corner of Naperville and Warrenville roads, close to a forest preserve. Rob Hughes tonight taking a closer look at the plan and those fighting ahead of tonight's Naperville City Council meeting.
Developers of the proposed new data center along the I-88 corridor are hoping to get the green light from City Council, while concerned Naperville residents are hoping City Council will hear their environmental, noise, and potential health concerns and shut it down.
This is where they play, this is where they ride their bikes. There's 3 playgrounds right in close proximity to here.
Rich Janner is a father of 2 and lives in Naperville. He, along with more than 5,000 other residents, have petitioned against a proposed 36-megawatt data center from Caris Critical, which would span roughly 145,000 square feet on the old vacant Lucent campus off Warrenville Road.
Property values would take a hit. There's not a lot of people that are going to come into a neighborhood if a data center is there.
William and Linda Scotty live a short walk away from the proposed site.
See that dead tree? The day we moved in, it was April, there were 2 bald eagles sitting there on that dead tree.
The Scotties are concerned the wildlife from the adjacent forest preserve may permanently leave because of the potential noise and air pollution, citing plans for 24 diesel generators in the proposal. Caris says the generators are new technology with less emissions than old diesel technology and would only be required in case of an electrical outage.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
Would you want a data center in your backyard?
So we posed that question to an executive at Caris Critical, Greg Strom, who's also a Naperville resident.
Trust me, we had a decibel reader with us. It's very clear that sound doesn't travel that far.
Strom says his company has worked with the city of Naperville to codify everything they've pledged in their proposal.
A lot of residents were concerned. It's like, hey, they make all these promises. What's to stop them from them going against those promises? The city does a great job of then putting that in writing in an enforceable way.
Just a few miles away in Lisle, another data center is in the works. And with the proliferation of artificial intelligence and cloud computing, Janner says one way or another, Naperville may be on the cusp of setting a critical precedent.
So the stakes are pretty high here tonight.
Tonight's City Council meeting is set for 7 p.m. The official agenda says the council will consider the request for approval of this proposed new data center. In Naperville, Rob Hughes, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Rob, thank you. The jury selection started today for a Chicago man accused of offering a bounty for the murder of Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bovino. Government prosecutors say Juan Espinoza Martinez sought to have Bovino killed during the immigration enforcement operation in the Chicago area last fall. The criminal complaint claims that Martinez is a high-ranking member of the Latin Kings, but the judge has barred prosecutors from making any reference to gang membership at this trial, saying there is no evidence of that. And in Minnesota today, federal grand jury subpoenas were served to the state's governor, attorney general, and the mayor of Minneapolis and other Democratic officials. The Department of Justice investigation centers around whether they have been obstructing federal law enforcement activities in this state, and it follows the ICE shooting death of Renee Good and days of protests in Minnesota. Governor Tim Walz is calling the federal investigation a distraction and, quote, political theater.
1 year into President Trump's second term, the Illinois Attorney General is highlighting the actions his office has taken to combat what he calls the administration's unlawful actions. Kwame Raoul saying that his office has successfully filed more than 50 lawsuits challenging everything from federal funding freezes to immigration enforcement tactics. Raoul says it has put a strain on his office, but it is not backing down.
We are not demoralized, and we're certainly not exhausted. We are standing our ground to defend the rights of the people of Illinois and the rule of law. And we're winning.
In total, the AG's office says it has protected over $6.6 billion in state funding.
And to mark his first year in office, President Trump highlighted what he says are his many accomplishments.
Well, the president also threatening more tariffs on anyone who gets in his way of acquiring Greenland. ABC's Christian Cordero has the latest tonight from the nation's capital.
As you know, This is the anniversary, first anniversary.
Today marks 1 year of President Trump's return to the White House, repeating his latest claim that the U.S. needs Greenland for national security.
How far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland?
You'll find out.
The president has agreed to meet with alarmed NATO allies this week while in Davos, Switzerland for the World Economic Forum, where several leaders are already gathered and concerned by the president's threats about Greenland.
We have decided to join the mutual exercise in Greenland without threatening anyone, but just supporting an ally and another European country, Denmark.
Despite the U.S. having military access to Greenland, Trump is warning 8 NATO allies to get out of his way of acquiring it or face 10% tariffs starting February 1st, then increasing to 25% in June. NATO's warning to President Trump his aggression towards Greenland is threatening the alliance with the U.S.
We are in a very bad position at the moment. We're dependent on the United States, so we chose to be lenient. But now so many red lines are being crossed.
New data shows the vast majority of tariffs are paid for by American consumers and businesses. A new analysis by the Yale Budget Lab estimates Trump's tariffs, including his latest threats, will cost the typical household more than $1,700 per year. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Thanks so much for that report. A valuable asset back here in Chicago could soon have a new owner once again. A deal has been reached in a sale of the city's parking meters. We first reported last week that the mayor's office was considering buying them back, but ABC7's Sarah Schulte reports that the price proved to be simply too much.
The city's parking meters has been sold to another private company. The Johnson administration considered buying the meters back, but the mayor said the sale price was way too expensive. Parking downtown at a meter spot costs $7 an hour, up from $3 an hour when the city owned the parking meters 17 years ago. In what has been called a disastrous, lopsided 75-year deal, then Mayor Richard M. Daley sold the meters to a private company for $1.15 billion.
They made about $2 billion in earnings, basically a year ago, or a little over a year ago. So they've already made their money back. For a company like this, it's easy to flip it to somebody else.
The current owner has now flipped it. Mayor Brandon Johnson said it sold to an unknown company for at least twice as much as the original price. For the past few months, the mayor's team looked into the possibility of buying the meters back.
We had our teams run the numbers and look at every variation of a potential deal. However, the more we looked into it, the more problems emerged.
Johnson says had the city bought the parking meters back, 100% of the parking revenues would be dedicated to paying off debt, which he says would eliminate the flexibility to lower rates or reduce the number of some parking meters.
Whatever reason, parking habits shifted and revenues were significantly reduced due to changes in user behavior, the city would still be responsible for 100% of the debt repayments. That represents an even greater level of risk than what we face with the current contract.
Well, the mayor felt it was the city's obligation to explore the possibility of buying the parking meters back. City council members say they were not part of any discussions.
Putting together a multi-billion-dollar complicated deal that undoes a disastrous deal for the city is something we got to be concerned about it.
While there's very little wiggle room of the current sale, City Council must vote on the transfer of the sale from the original company to the new one. Sarah Schulte, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Sarah, thanks. A warning about some apps putting your information at risk. Jason Knowles and the Consumer Eye team find out how to spot them.
But first, actor and director accused of abusing children is back in court.
Later, O'Hare soaring to new heights with a new title.
Crime Stoppers is now offering a $10,000 reward for any information leading to an arrest in 2 shooting deaths, including one of a mother of 5. Kiara Jenkins' body was found in an alley on Sunday morning near 64th and Drexel. Family members tell us she was on her way to church, and the second shooting happened just after 9 o'clock on Sunday morning on South Michigan Avenue. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Cook County Crime Stoppers or submit a tip online at cpdtip.com. And police are also searching for the person who shot an Indiana judge and his wife. A man shot Tippecanoe County Judge Stephen Meyer and his wife in their Lafayette home on Sunday. Investigators say a man came to their door and said that he had found their dog. He then fired shots through the door. The judge was hit in the arm and his wife in the hip. Both are expected to recover.
A closing argument set to begin tomorrow in the trial of a former Uvalde school police officer in the botched response to that deadly school shooting. Today, the defense rested their case after calling 2 witnesses. A former officer testifying that Adrian Gonzalez could have suffered from inattentive blindness or tunnel vision when responding to the shooting at Robb Elementary School in 2022. Also today, an eyewitness testified the gunman ducked behind a parked car when Gonzalez drove by him. Gonzalez is charged with child endangerment. 19 students and 2 teachers were killed.
Actor Timothy Busfield can be released from jail despite prosecutors calling him a risk. Busfield was taken into custody last week for allegedly inappropriately touching twin child actors on the set of the show Cleaning Lady in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The incident allegedly happening between 2022 and 2024. Busfield's wife, actress Melissa Gilbert, wrote an emotional letter to the judge showing her support. A judge today denying prosecutors' request to keep Busfield in custody. He denies the allegations against him. An I-Team alert tonight about apps that can drain your battery or put your personal information at risk. A new cybersecurity study finds that some apps generate fake ad views and slow down your phones. Consumer investigator Jason Knowles here tonight to explain what you should look out for to spot these apps. Jason.
A storage cleaner app or an emoji app may look innocent, but cybersecurity researchers say a recent discovery is a reminder to all smartphone users about suspicious apps. Cybersecurity company Check Point says it found 15 suspicious apps on Google Play that looked legitimate. The apps would generate phony ad views within the app to make money, but no one would ever really see those ads.
Hidden adware that was disguised as very simple utility apps, specifically on the Android mobile operating system. Make your own emoji apps, free up storage.
Checkpoint says those apps racked up millions of downloads, mostly to people in parts of Asia. But experts say this is a reminder to all smartphone users because suspicious apps like this can create chaos on your phone.
A slowdown in the performance of their phone, massive battery drain, and also had the potential to get access to information on the phone itself.
That's because on almost any app you download, you might be giving permission to the app to access much of your phone's information.
These apps have been removed by Google, but there's nothing stopping people from continuing to do this.
Google told the I-Team user safety is a top priority. These identified apps were removed from the Google Play and Google Play Protect. Android's built-in malware defense, which is on by default, automatically disables these apps to protect users. Google says no action is needed by users. But experts say you should monitor activity no matter what kind of phone you have. Check battery usage. If a simple app is using more power than your browser or streaming apps, that's a red flag. Review permissions. Ask yourself, does an emoji maker really need access to items like contacts and files? Watch for blank notifications. If apps are persistently running, you may see those. Checkpoint says the apps in question would run those blank notifications to get around rules set by Google Play. You should stick to official app stores whenever possible and avoid downloading from other sources. Jason Knowles, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Jason, thank you. And don't forget to check out the latest edition of Consumer Chronicles. Jason and Samantha will share some of their most impactful and widely talked about stories in the Chicago area. You can watch Consumer Chronicles right now wherever you stream.
Take a live look outside tonight. some snow's on the way. We could see temperatures dip below zero before the week's over. That's our Royal Sonesta downtown river cam.
Yeah, you can't like feel video, but that does look cold.
It's cold, yeah.
Right, Larry Mowry has your updated accurate weather forecast on the other side of the break. We'll be right back. An earthquake rattling parts of southern Illinois. The 3.8 magnitude quake happened just before 1:30 this morning near Chelman, Illinois, or Ullman, Illinois. It was felt as far as St. Louis, Missouri. People in Springfield also reportedly felt the quake. No one was hurt, and there are no reports of any kind of damage, but still you hear about an earthquake. It's still
it's
pretty
concerning.
scary.
There's a fault line right
Yeah.
through us. So
Wow.
yeah, hopefully that's it. All right, let's take a live look outside. See what's going on. There's the shot of the city. Like you mentioned, it looks cold, but this is nothing compared to Friday.
Yeah, what's about to happen. But tonight, though, Rob, we're going to get
True,
some
that's
snowflakes.
right. I'm jumping to Friday.
Right, because you're thinking you're like,
tomorrow
oh my
and the
goodness,
night.
right?
Yeah, Larry's here with all the great news.
I was going to say we might get some ice quakes on Friday because it's going to
really?
get that cold in the morning. So yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
So that's when it gets so cold that the groundwater that's still not frozen yet freezes so rapidly that it expands and creates a little mini quake, and it creates like a popping sound.
Stop.
Does that make your pipes burst?
No, because it's far enough underground.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
yeah. So it doesn't.
I have
affect the
never
pipes
heard
really.
that.
Remember,
We
it
learned
was
so
back
much
in
with
2018 we had some.
Oh.
When it got to 20 below zero.
Yeah.
We were talking about it
We
back
try to
then.
Put
forget
that
things.
stuff out of our
I know,
minds.
exactly.
Yeah,
Feels
right.
like forever ago, right? Before we get to that, though, we got snow tonight into tomorrow morning. Snow showers between about 10 p.m. and 8 o'clock in the morning. Most of us 1 to 2 inches of snow, but some 3 and 4 inch totals across the northern parts of the area, and maybe some 3 to 5 inch totals near the Wisconsin state line, and especially into parts of Wisconsin. And then we get another round of snow tomorrow evening between about 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. That push of snow could produce an inch or two of additional accumulation for us tomorrow evening. So some snowy weather tonight and tomorrow morning, and then again tomorrow evening before the brutal cold air settles in on Friday. Now, low temperatures Friday morning, 0 to 12 below will be the air temperature readings, but wind chills 20 to 40 below zero Friday morning. And then Friday afternoon, highs, well, right around zero by a couple of degrees. Wind chills even in the afternoon on Friday will be 20 to 30 below zero. Here's how much snow I expect tonight. Again, 1 to 2 inches from the city southward, maybe some 2 to 4 inch totals across the northern suburbs. And the extreme northern parts of Illinois, maybe 3 to 4 inches of snow, maybe some 5 inch totals up along the state line. Winter weather advisories start at 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock tonight and continue until 8 o'clock in the morning. Again, only about half the area under the advisories from the city up to the north and parts of DuPage County, Kane, and DeKalb County, you're included in that winter weather advisory. Goes all the way back to Waterloo, Iowa, where the snow is really getting going right now. That band of snow will track right over top of us later this evening and overnight tonight and during the morning tomorrow. In fact, I'm kind of most concerned about 5, 6, and 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow for little bursts of snow coming through with temperatures in the mid-20s. That'll create some slick spots on the roadways for that early morning commute. And then the snow moves out and we catch a break around midday. Temperatures tomorrow actually warm into the upper 20s, close to 30. So a mild afternoon compared to how cold it's been recently. But then here's the next burst of snow tomorrow evening between 6 and 10 o'clock that may put down an inch or two of snow just after the evening commute tomorrow. Then we'll dry out and clear out for tomorrow night into early Thursday morning. 29 for a high tomorrow, 20 on Thursday, 0 for a high temperature on Friday with wind chills 15 to 35, even 40 below for us early Friday morning. Just check out those wind chills. Here's 7:30 Friday morning. 30, 35, 40 below zero, and there are the afternoon wind chills, 25 to 35 below zero during the afternoon on Friday. So today we hit 20, which was 2 degrees warmer than yesterday. Our low this morning was 3 above. And I'm also tracking a major winter storm that will impact the deep south over the course of Friday into the weekend. Check out the European model here. Snow, Oklahoma, ice in Dallas and Fort Worth, and that spreads eastward, impacting southern Illinois, Tennessee, Nashville, Memphis, Atlanta, all getting into that winter weather. Could see anywhere from 8 to 12 inches of snow in a band across parts of Tennessee with this system for Saturday into Sunday. Big time mess for portions of the south. For us tonight, we'll stay right around 20 degrees with the snow showers coming in. Snow early tomorrow, snow late tomorrow, then dry on Thursday, brutal cold on Friday, still very cold on Saturday, and then temperatures kind of try to warm up next week, 24, but met by next Tuesday.
24 is a warm-up.
24 is a huge warm-up.
This is a crazy week for the country and weather.
This extreme cold is going to go so far south and then interact with the Gulf moisture and spin up this massive winter storm. So we're talking about the bitter cold here. Right. It's going to be huge travel issues this weekend, like Atlanta, Nashville, Dallas.
Are they prepared? Do they have the equipment?
No, I mean
10 to 12 inches of snow.
They got to let it melt. I mean, it'll be days of not going anywhere for some of these cities.
It's going to be something.
See,
it'll be a mess.
All right.
I mean, everybody's got their own, issues.
Problems, right. That's right. Everybody's got something. Yeah.
All right, Larry, thank you. You can always get the latest forecast anytime, everybody. The free ABC7 Chicago News app. Just scan that QR code right there on your screen for a link so you can download. And we invite you to tune in tomorrow morning. Eyewitness News starts at 4:30 a.m. for the updates as you head out the door.
Well, you mentioned Atlanta, but O'Hare back on top is the busiest airport in the United States. The mayor's office announcing today that O'Hare outpaced Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport for the first time since 2019. And according to new FAA data, more than 850,000 aircraft landed or took off from O'Hare last year. And Midway ranked 38th in the nation last year for the number of takeoffs and landings. Going to be rough down there at Atlanta if all that weather hits like Larry's predicting. Well, a daring rescue. Good Samaritans jump into frigid water to save a driver from their sinking SUV. Watch this. It happened in Virginia Beach, Virginia on Friday. And you can see 4 brave people in the water on top of that SUV. One man busting the back windshield as the vehicle quickly sinks. He was able to pull the woman out of the car, and a flotation device is thrown from the pier. They're able to get her safely to shore.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, the driver and 2 Good Samaritans taken to the hospital to be checked out. They are okay. How that driver ended up in the water is still being investigated.
And they said one of the rescuers was a Navy military person who worked in water rescue.
Oh, wow.
Just happened to be eating at the restaurant at the time when it was happening, and then came off and he jumped in. I know.
Yeah, stroke of luck there, too. Yeah.
It was perfect. Thank goodness everybody's going to be okay. Well, the LGBTQ Sports Hall of Fame is adding a familiar face to Good Morning America fans to its halls.
We'll introduce you to the class of 2026. It's next. Aurora Restaurant Week is underway. Organizers say the second annual event will showcase Aurora's rapidly growing and diverse culinary scene. Participants include everything from casual eateries to fine dining establishments. Aurora Restaurant Week runs through February 3rd.
We need to take a road trip. Like, that is delicious.
That
You were
looks
reading
good.
it, and it was just like
That
mouth
looks good.
watering. Yummy. Yeah, the guac. Yeah, all right. Well, we now know which athletes will be inducted into this year's LGBTQ+ Sports Hall of Fame.
As ABC7's Karen Jordan reports, the honorees include Good Morning America anchor Robin Roberts, who was a college basketball star and former ESPN sports analyst. I'll get it out.
It's been 13 years since the LGBTQ Sports Hall of Fame was founded here in Chicago. This year's class includes a diverse group whose stories of courage and advocacy reflect the changing landscape of sports.
Today, we're thrilled to introduce the 2026 class for the LGBT Sports Hall of Fame, Anthony Nicodemo.
Anthony Nicodemo will soon take his place among previous inductees into the LGBTQ Sports Hall of Fame. The basketball coach and athletic director from Westchester County, New York, expressed his appreciation for being included in the class of 2026. He says part of his career, he was in the closet, fearful that if he came out, he would lose his job.
Getting up every morning and being something you're not is a very difficult thing to do. And for me, I'm a pretty bombastic person. I'm not quiet. So in a lot of ways, I was living this fraudulent life.
Nicodemo came out in 2013, inspired by Jason Collins, the first openly gay NBA player also being inducted this year. Collins, seen here on the right, and Nicodemo have since become friends.
I've won more games since I came out than I did before I came out, and I think there is a correlation there.
That courage and resilience, a common thread among this year's inductees, which include 99-year-old Maybelle Blair, a former pitcher, and the inspiration for the streaming series A League of Their Own. There's also a familiar face to our viewers.
Robin Roberts. Robin is a former college basketball star, longtime ESPN Sports Center anchor, and now co-anchor of Good Morning America.
Scott Bova, the Hall of Fame chair, says it's important to celebrate these trailblazers, to give comfort to countless others in the sports world who are still in the closet.
The world of sport for us has always been a place where you don't feel fully comfortable. And these individuals have made it easier for myself and for many of us to find our place and live our authentic life.
The induction ceremony takes place in New York City in June. Next year, it returns to its roots. The ceremony returns here to Chicago. Karen Jordan, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Karen, thanks so much for joining us.
Congratulations, of course, to the inductees. We'll see you at 10 o'clock, everybody, over in ABC7. Good night.